Despite many Arsenal players being busy on international duties, Mikel Arteta is still keeping the rest active. So let's find out what happened today as Arsenal played Brentford in a behind closed doors friendly. Has Fabrizio Romano confirmed Arsenal's interest in Raphinha, and what will our 2023 third and away kits look like? Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Babs14. Welcome back to your boys channel, and we are back again with all of that latest Arsenal news. So if you enjoy the content, make sure to go down there and smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and help your boy on his road to 80,000 subscribers. But let's get into that Arsenal news, and starting off with Arsenal versus Brentford. That is right, my friends, Arsenal indeed played a game today. Now, it wasn't televised, there are no matchday highlights, but Arsenal played a behind closed doors friendly against Brentford. Brentford beat to be exact, with Arsenal confirming that goal scorers were Rob Holding and a hat-trick for Alexandre Lacazette as they beat Brentford 4-1 in a behind closed doors friendly at London Colney. Now, over the course of the season, it isn't really a surprise that Arsenal have been active behind the scenes, because during most of the other international breaks, Arsenal have played quite a few behind the closed doors friendlies. But the difference here is that in the past, Arsenal had a lot of key personnel, your Ben White, your Gabriels, that weren't full international, so they were able to play these games. Whereas now that's just not the case anymore, because a lot of these players have blown up, and now these guys are full-on international superstars. But Arsenal still have players left behind, the likes of Rob Holding, Eddie Nketiah, Bernd Leno, Alexandre Lacazette, and despite the absence of so many key players, these men still held it down, with Football London's Kaya Kanak confirming that Leno and Nketiah were also involved, which Nuno Tavares also played in despite some previous injury concerns. The only real starter here was Alexandre Lacazette, and apart from that, a lot of the other players, your Lenos, your Nketiahs, Tavares, these are more squad rotational options. Apart from that, here was the Arsenal matchday squad, and as you can see, there's quite a few youngsters here. You've got your Charlie Patinos, Miguel Aziz, and the likes of Mika Birif as well. But one thing that photo shows is there is no sign of Takehiro Tomiyasu, which is a player that missed out on the international break because he was injured. Some people had reported that potentially he had returned behind the scenes, he's back to full training, but clearly going into this game he was still not fully fit, so Mikel Arteta did not play him. Even though Cedric has held it down, Tomiyasu is still our standout right back, and the sooner that he can return to this Arsenal first team, the better we're gonna get. He is a fantastic 1v1 defender, he is fantastic in the build-up, and I just need that consistent 7 or 8 out of 10 Japanese excellence back in my life. But let's just have a talk about the players that did play, starting off with one of the youngsters in Charlie Patino. Now, all of us Arsenal fans know about young Charlie. He scored on his Arsenal debut against Sunderland in the Carabao Cup, and he is one of the most hyped Arsenal youngsters as it stands, and rightly so, because this guy has all the elegance, the technique, the quality to become a top midfielder. Quite a few people behind the scenes at Arsenal have actually labelled Patino as the best youngster to have ever come through Hill End. Now just think about the players that have come out of there, says Fabregas, Ashley Cole, Bukayo Saka, Smith Rowe. If Patino's hype is to be true, then Arsenal have a serious player on their hands. So him playing in somewhat of a first team friendly is very important to get more used to the first team environment, and I think going into next year we're going to see a lot more of Charlie Patino. And with Arsenal moving into the whole 4-3-3, playing as a box-to-box number 8 type of profile, maybe that is tailor-made for a long-term position of Charlie Patino. But talking about Arsenal midfielders, you also had an appearance from Miguel Aziz. Aziz, of course, was on loan at Portsmouth, but ultimately had his loan cancelled because Arsenal were not happy with the amount of minutes that he was getting. He hasn't been loaned out once again, and he's been playing with the Arsenal under-23s. Now, when we're talking about physical profile of a box-to-box number 8 type of player, Miguel Aziz fits a lot of that caliber. Despite the young age, this guy is a powerhouse in midfield. He's got a very good engine and technically has a lot of quality as well. But when it comes to the defensive side of things, I still think Aziz has a long way to go. And that is why during his time in League One for Portsmouth, he was playing more as a number 10. Even though he may have the long-term potential, as things stands, I don't think he has the defensive discipline to play as a number 6. But moving on to the strikers, you also had an appearance from Arsenal youngster Mika Birif. When you talk about Arsenal strikers, this guy is actually very underrated. But Mika Birif is a player that's been quietly having a very good season with the Arsenal under-23s, scoring 9 goals and getting 5 assists. And he is still a player that is only 19 years of age. So when we talk about Arsenal strikers, a lot of people talk straight away about following Balogun, but Mika Birif is a player that clearly Arteta also likes. But it's going to be very important to see what's the next step for Birif. Is it another year with the under-23s? Is it potentially a loan down to the Championship or the Bundesliga? Or maybe next year with Arsenal's need for new centre forwards, forwards could BRFB almost a very decent rotational option, especially in the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. But ultimately the standout player in this game was of course our Frenchman, our number 9, the hat-trick goal scorer Alexandre Lacazette. Now scoring a hat-trick is of course things you absolutely love to see, but ultimately he is still a behind closed doors friendly, so hopefully Alex can take this form onto the actual games itself. But talking about Mr. Lacazette, according to L'Equipe in France, Arsenal could offer Alexandre Lacazette a new short-term deal. As you guys are already aware, at the end of the season, Alexandre Lacazette is going to be without an Arsenal contract, so he's going to be a free agent, and the likes of Juventus, Lyon, Atletico Madrid all have rumoured interest. But for Arsenal's sake, there has been some really quiet whispers going around that potentially Mikel Arteta could offer Lacazette a 1-year contract extension. As long as Arsenal sign more strikers, I don't think that's the worst of options, but more importantly, is Lacazette there to accept? Because I think Lacazette wants a more long-term contract, a 2-3-year contract, and the fact that he's now 30 years old, I think he understands that this is going to be his final big contract no matter where he gets it. Now I won't deny that Lacazette is a very good hold-up player. Linking up the play, getting assists, Lacazette excels in the departments, but Arsenal clearly require an out-and-out goal scorer, and Lacazette isn't going to be that guy. But if Arsenal can get a type of player like that going into next year, keeping Lacazette as almost a backup option in certain games and as an impact substitute, it might not be the worst of options. What do you guys make of Alexandre Lacazette, a hat-trick goal scorer today for Arsenal, out of contract at the end of the season? If it came down to you, would you give Lacazette a short-term contract extension? Moving on to the Arsenal transfer news, and let's start off with the Arsenal wingers. Now yesterday we discussed a winger out of the Eredivisie, and that was Cody Gakpo, and today we have yet another winger being linked to Arsenal Football Club, but this one is from the Premier League. Is Leeds United's Raphinha, because Fabrizio Romano says, I can tell you that Arsenal have asked for information about Raphinha of Leeds. Barcelona are leading the race for Raphinha, but they are looking for that kind of player, so Gakpo is a player they are following. Also Raphinha is a player they like. So not only has Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Arsenal have genuine interest in Cody Gakpo, but also mentioning that Arsenal have interest in Leeds United's Raphinha. Now we're talking a very serious winger here, a player 25 years of age entering the peak of his powers. He has got 9 goals and 3 assists this season, and that has been for a struggling, relegation fighting Leeds United within the Premier League, and he's caught the eyes of some massive clubs, your Man United, your Liverpools, and now your Arsenals. He's a player that I really much like, but at the same time, let's not forget that he excels as a right winger, and when you look at players like Cody Gakpo and even Marcus Rashford, those are players more as left wingers. If Arsenal are going to sign a winger, it won't be a right winger. We have Bukayo Saka, we have Nicola Pepe, whereas on the left hand side, Martinelli is your striker, is your winger, Smith Rowe is your 10, is your winger. Arsenal don't have that many out and out left wingers. I don't see Mikel Arteta moving Bukayo Saka to the left hand side, and I don't see Raphinha coming to Arsenal to play as a left winger either. So what we have here is a case of a very good player that of course I would love at Arsenal, but he plays in a position that Arsenal already have top players in. Personally, I don't think this is going to happen, but if it were down to you, is he a player that you guys would like to see Arsenal sign? And if not Raphinha, then what other winger do you want to see Arsenal go for instead? Moving on to the strikers, let's talk Darwin Núñez. According to Sam Dean of the Daily Telegraph, Newcastle, West Ham and Brighton have all had a proper look at Darwin Núñez in the past year. His understanding is that Manchester United's interest is considerably more advanced than Arsenal's. Over the past few days, the reports linking Núñez with a transfer to Arsenal have kind of simmered down. I think Núñez is a player that Arsenal most certainly like, and I think he's definitely on Arsenal's list. And to be honest, the more that I've looked into Núñez, the player himself, he's a player that likes to drift that wide to the left hand side quite a lot. That might work for Benfica, but for Arsenal's sake, we already have players in that position. What we require is a player a bit like Lacazette, who wants to play in the centre of the pitch, link up the play and be Arsenal's focal points. Núñez most certainly offers Arsenal goal threats, and 26 goals in 33 games shows that, but I don't necessarily think he's a player that is tailor-made to drop off deep and link up play. Despite that, what you guys make of Darwin Núñez, and do you think that he should be Arsenal's #1 striking target going into the summer transfer window? And if not Núñez, what other striker do you have in mind? Moving on to the final bit of the international break, as Gabriel Martinelli was on fire for Brazil, and he showed exactly how special he was with an outrageous bit of skill last night, leaving defenders frozen on the spot. Pele's godson seems to have unlocked his inner Ronaldinho. Even though he could have scored 2 goals with better finishing, the skills, the nutmegs, the turns, the confidence that this guy is oozing right now is simply stunning. And even after the game, you had Brazil legend Dani Alves on his Instagram say, Gabriel Martinelli, let's go my fenomeno. So happy to have you. So let's welcome Dani Alves to Martinelli FC as he joins the likes of Ronaldinho and even Jurgen Klopp, who have given this player their cosign. And calling him my fenomeno isn't fenomeno the nickname that was given to Mr. R9, Mr. Ronaldo Nazario. Forget about Pele's godson, he might just be R9's actual son. He can press, he can attack the box with presence, and use strength and speed to break free. Strike through the ball and eat the foot, determined to score and work hard, combines, creates separation, and uses 1v1s. That is Gabriel Martinelli. Alongside Martinelli, Arsenal have a host of top young players. Martin Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe. Out of all of the young players that Arsenal have there, those 4-star boys, who do you think is going to be the best player going into the future? Okay, let's move on to the other Arsenal news today. And starting off, let's go into the future. Let's talk 2022-2023 and let's talk about the Arsenal third and away kits. And starting off with the away kits, here are the leaked images as Adidas have cooked up a baby pink kit. I won't lie to you guys, I do low-key like this shirt. I like the colour schemes, I like how simplistic it is, but there's also this very minimal pattern running across the kit as well. Now I understand that a lot of old school Arsenal fans, they prefer to see Arsenal away kits being kept as yellow only. But personally, I like something different, and this certainly fits the bill. But what are your own thoughts on the leaked Arsenal away kits? And if you were to rate it out of 10, what are you giving it? Let me know down below in the comments. And here is the leaked photo of the Arsenal third kit, a black and gold Arsenal kit. Now this for me is a cash money Arsenal kit. I've already made it clear in the past, I do like black tile kits, and this black and gold colour scheme is bang on for me. I love the colour scheme, I love the simplicity, I love the little AFC that's running through the kit as well. And if Arsenal and Adidas do release this kit, then I am buying it, no questions asked. But just like with the away kit, what do you guys make of this leaked Arsenal third kit? And if you were to rate it out of 10, what are you giving it down below in the comments? According to the Times in the UK, Premier League clubs are set to make a U-turn tomorrow and agree to 5 substitutions per team being permitted from next season. As things stand, you can only make 3 subs in a Premier League game, which has been the case for a very long time, but of course during COVID things changed and became 5, but now I might be going back to 5 subs, and you know what, personally I'm not against that. I think 5 subs for Arsenal will be very beneficial. With 5 subs you can basically change half of the first team during the game, but also with those extra 2 subs it will also give managers a better opportunity to give youngsters a chance as well, which personally I am all for. But what do you guys make of a potential rule change of 3 subs to 5 subs? Are you for it or are you against it? Now on to our next game. Of course we have a very hard game at Selhurst Park away from home, Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace. It's not going to be easy because Palace have some decent players. But talking about their players, Wilfried Zaha was not available for the Ivory Coast against England. He could miss the game against Arsenal on Monday along with Michael Olise, who has a foot injury. These are 2 of their key players, 2 of their first team starters, and Zaha in particular has caused Arsenal so many issues in the past. Now if Arsenal were to have Takehiro Tomiyasu, I'd be a bit more confident, but Zaha versus Cedric Spores could be a bit of a sticky one. Apart from that, Arsenal also didn't pick up any first team injuries during the international break. We might have Tomiyasu back, so we might just have a fully fit Arsenal first team. But what are your own thoughts going into that Crystal Palace game? And if Zaha and Olise are indeed to be out, would that give you extra confidence? But that is the video there and there, so if you guys have enjoyed, make sure to go down there and smash a like, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you would like to follow your boy on them social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was all of the latest Arsenal news today. I hope you guys have enjoyed and been informed as always. 5 more days until Arsenal back. I can't wait, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and in a bit.